Hey friends, Shay here. So I am here today to do a completed manga series review. I haven't done one of these in a hot minute because a lot of the series that I've finished recently have been very short series, but I have finished one of the best manga series I've ever read, and it has officially slid itself into my favorite manga of all time. That's saying a lot. This is ahead of Sweat and Soap. This is ahead of Yona. And that's saying something, especially if you've been on this channel any amount of time at all, because Yona and Sweat and Soap are two of the best series I've ever read. But I have another one that has now been completed that has officially slid itself into that all-time favorite arena, and that is Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, we are following a human girl named Seraphi. Seraphi has been raised her entire life to be a sacrifice to the king in the beast kingdom. His name is, he's just known as the king, His Majesty, as you could say. And as Seraphi goes to be sacrificed to the King of Beasts, something happens, and our king, who she lovingly names Leonhardt, ends up having a secret of his own. And through learning that secret, they form a very unique bond, and he decides to make her his princess instead of his sacrifice. From here, this is a very politically charged fantasy story with a beautiful romance woven through the entire thing. So first things first, let's talk about the art. The art in this story is absolutely stunning. Good, bad, and ugly. Everything about this series is absolutely beautiful. The covers, everything about it. And you get to see the beasts when they're little, and of course they're adorable. And you get to see them as grown, majestic beasts. And each beast has a very distinct look to them, and they are each unique. And that is something that I really loved about this series, is I never felt like I couldn't tell what species something was, despite there being mixed race beings. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But essentially, through the course of this story, Leonhardt and Seraphi both learn to love themselves as they are and to accept themselves as they are and who they've become. That is through their amazing friendship that they start with. And it obviously blossoms into something absolutely beautiful and stunning and accepting and full of love and no judgment. And these two were both raised in very judgmental households where being a certain way was not accepted. And I'm already getting emotional, so that should tell you a lot. So that's another thing. Let's talk about the emotional impact of this series. This series is full of two people learning who they are and learning to love themselves. Not only these two, but the entire cast goes on similar journeys. And through seeing these two love each other and prove their worthiness to each other and proving their worthiness to be with each other to others, they teach those people to love themselves as they are and to forgive themselves of things that they would have previously been judged for. I mean, the emotional impact of this series is amazing. You deal with all sorts of judgments, all sorts of racism built into their ecosystem, I guess you could say, because how the sacrifice comes about is that's how they made peace with the Beast Kingdom. The humans offered a sacrifice monthly to the Beast King, and Seraphi just happened to be one of those sacrifices. And Leonhardt has his own things he's worrying about, obviously, and his own things that he does. But honestly, I love this. I love this so much. And I could go on and on for hours about this series. So let's talk about the arcs of the story. So we kind of have our introductory arc, obviously. And then we have several very small arcs that are all kind of interconnected into a bigger arc. So essentially, Seraphi is tasked with these queenly challenges to prove that she is worthy to stand next to Leonhart. And these are mainly given to her by a character named Anubis, who is the right-hand man of the king. And he doesn't trust that this human is worthy of the king that he knows and loves and respects. And he doesn't understand what his king sees in her. And again, that's a very spoilery point, so I'm trying to avoid talking about that. So through these challenges, Seraphi learns her worth as a human and as a partner to Leonhart. Through these challenges, Leonhart also learns that he has more power than he has ever wielded because he's been afraid of his power because of his secret. And he learns and grows and uses that power not only to protect himself, but to protect Seraphi. Towards the end of this series, Leonhart's secret is discovered. And that is the kind of final climax and crux of this series. I mean, you pretty much know it's coming once you figure out what the secret is, which you do find out in the first volume. But again, I don't want to spoil that surprise for you. I think you need to learn it for yourself. And from there, watching how that all resolves itself was amazing. It was such an amazing journey. For just a second here, I'm going to take a pause to plug my memberships here for a second. I don't talk about them very often, though I do offer them. My channel members get early access to videos as well as exclusive videos like this one, where I did my live reaction to the final 2 volumes of this series. And they see me at the end of every chapter where I cry, where I tell them everything and explain all of my feelings as I went along and finished one of my favorite series of all time. I'm so glad I decided to record it, and I am sharing that with my members and sharing this with everybody else because not everybody's interested in all of my spoilery thoughts. So if you are, consider becoming a member. I just have one flat channel membership rate. It's very affordable. It's a monthly thing, and I'm trying to do at least one exclusive member video a month, as well as the early access and some other little perks. And I have a Discord where we chat and things like that. So getting back to Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, the other thing this series does really well is it features a beautiful female friendship that is really not fueled by jealousy on either side. They are both beautiful women who love each other and love. And they are adorable, and I love them. And their friendship is not founded on the romance that they feel necessarily. It is because they are 2 women who were basically cast out by the people who raised them to do a certain thing. And because of that, they form a beautiful friendship all about acceptance and loving each other. And this is just a big theme throughout the entirety of this series is love and acceptance. And it doesn't matter how you're packaged. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. Only you can be you. And it's amazing. And I love it. I mean, you even get that in the final climax of this series. I'm going to cry thinking about it again. I just am so emotionally attached to Seraphi and Leonhart and all of the characters along the way. And they all have a team of people who love them. And this is all about, it doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter your race, your species. It doesn't matter. Male, female, none of it matters. Only you can be you and you are loved. That's what this series teaches you in this beautiful fantasy romance package, and I could never ask for more from a series. This is why it has become a new favorite, and I will never shut up about this series. It will be prominently featured on my shelves forever. I really don't think anything... The only thing that could maybe take this one's place is Yona, and I just have to wait for Yona to be finished. Yona is the only thing that could take Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts' place in my heart. Because I'm very attached to Yona and its characters in a lot of ways. And I started reading them about the same time. And I've equally loved them for a very long time. And now that this one's complete, it is currently in the front seat. Yona is the only thing that can usurp it at this point. And that's saying a lot. Because that's comparing a 15-volume series to one that is 35 volumes currently. And so with that said, I need y'all to know that this is worth every moment of your time. If you are a member, please check out that spoilery vlog. I put a lot of work and a lot of heart and soul into it, and I hope you enjoy. So if you are here just because you love me, leave me some sort of animal-based emoji, as this is a very beast kind, animal-centered kind of story. I would love a lion in particular for Leonhardt, if you can. And with that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my